Paul, I've been wrong this whole time, and I apologize. I want to make this video to apologize to you. I'm reading a new book. Nate, it's on my screen here, Richer, Wiser, Happier by William Green. You know, Paul, I don't read a lot, but I started the first couple chapters of this book, and I cannot put it down.
Really?
I reread the first chapter twice.
Why?
The first chapter is about this guy named Manish Pabrai, and he's
Wait, that's your guy.
I just told you about this guy because I just read the book.
Oh.
Anyway, he became...
I thought it was your wedding guy in California.
No, different guy.
Okay.
This guy became enamored with cloning everything Warren Buffett did, and he said, I've never come up with a single idea of my own. I just clone really famous people and important people who are making the right decisions. And what the book has taught me, which, by the way...
Which I don't agree with, by the way.
Oh, happy birthday if I got you a book.
Oh, boy. My birthday is July 5th.
So I thought I'd give it to you early so I don't...
Oh, thank you very much. So when I awkwardly tell you I already have this book, what are you going to do?
That's okay. You have 2 copies. You can sign one and give it to the patrons.
That's not a bad idea.
Here's what I'm apologizing, Paul. I have sat in here, folks. I have sat here for the past 2.5 years. And deep down in my mind, I keep trying to... Look at that. Oh, I signed it for you.
You're sugar bean. You're sugar bear, sorry. Sugar bear.
I've sat here for over 2 years, Paul, defending you to the death from the naysayers, the haters. And I guess I had this internal mindset that like your style of investing is radical. It looks foolish in the days of Tesla, Amazon, and crypto coins. And I feel like I've had to defend it. And then I read a book that interviews all the top investors from the past century. And it sounds like your autobiography, Paul.
And the funny part is about this, I was influenced by Warren Buffett. But then I heard about Warren Buffett and things started to click and I started to get my own ideas. Then I'd read other books by other people and I'm like, yeah, I remember people saying, I might go to speak somewhere, that Paul sounds like Howard Marks. Paul sounds like this Bob, Seth Klarman. Paul sounds like, no, we just all sound the same because we all have the same philosophy.
So if you've been watching, if you're a patron, you've been watching all this time, I've probably had some hesitations like, is Paul right? Is this the right? What do you think? In actuality, there is no other right besides this. And if you read this book,
oh, wow.
Richer, Wiser, Happier, it even describes folks kind of like you, Paul.
How so?
You're not great at interacting with parties. You're more drawn to numbers. You love individual sports at times. They literally say in the book, like tennis and chess.
Did they really say that?
Absolutely. and they have a discipline that, like as Warren Buffett would say, I'm paraphrasing, but the idea when you say like value investing is there's no other thing that is investing. The term investing is value investing, and anything otherwise is stupid. I've had so many conversations in the past few days with normal people, Paul, and they want to reason with me why they're spending money on a Tesla stock and crypto coins, when in reality, I've deep down maybe thought for years like I had to defend you for being wrong, when in actuality, this is the only way. None of these people in this book, folks, if you read this book, which we'll give away a couple copies here in the future.
Oh, Greenblatt's in here.
Joel Greenblatt. None of these people are chasing the things that your uncle and your grandma are reading on Facebook and buying, like overpriced stocks and crypto coins. None of them. And Paul, it's amazing to hear that like some of these guys have an astounding portfolio. Over 30 years, they got 16% over 30 years, Paul. And they're heralded as one of the greatest investors of all time.
And now they're told they're wrong.
Yeah, because they're not getting 3,000%.
So what's the happier part?
Well, a lot of the folks in the book are of older age. So now they've moved into the giving phase, which you give a lot, Paul.
Well, not as much as they do.
Well, maybe so, but they've moved into their giving. So Manish Pabrai has given multi-million dollars to the impoverished students in India to create schools. And, we've talked to folks on our show of great wealth, Hesh Sagafi, and he has an internal goal in mind. I was guessing of giving. He's such a giving guy.
Yeah, we don't know what it is. He just said... I have one motivation. The motivation is this, and he won't say who it is, what it is.
Yeah. So the book And what Paul has taught for all these many years now is the idea of just that idea of value investing and why we seem like we have to defend ourselves against the masses.
Well, I think every good idea should be able to defend itself. It shouldn't be defensive, and I used to get defensive about it, and now because of the show, I'm not less defensive about it. It's just I've said before, there are multiple ways to skin a cat. Do I believe value investing is a great way to skin a cat? Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Do I believe, but fundamentally it relies on one thing, process. And I feel like everybody in these books, I didn't even read this book. Every value investor also has a different process.
Sure.
We all have a different process. The question is, we still view a dollar as a dollar, and we still have fundamental beliefs in something, right? And that's the main takeaway from it. Finding a process that speaks to you and sticking to it. I used to believe, like I just said earlier when you said, this person just copied Warren Buffett and everything. It's like, I don't believe in that.
Cloning, he likes to call it.
Cloning. I don't believe in that. I believe in do what makes sense to you because it makes sense to you.
Yeah.
And there are things that, look at Warren Buffett. His investment philosophy has changed drastically over the last 60 years. Mm-hmm. It was still fundamentally value, but how he viewed value was very different. He used to look for companies that were dying on their last leg, but had good assets behind them. That was his way before. Now he wants to find good companies, great companies at fair prices. That's his goal. So it's just, and by the way, this is the reason I asked you, what's the happier part? That has made me happier. I've missed out on all these gains in the last 5 years, and I'm not unhappy. I'm just like, okay.
Well, someone might argue you're happier because you have a lot of money, but
anybody who says that has no understanding of money.
But again, my money hasn't drastically changed in the past few years, but you've instilled in me an appreciation for what happiness is, spending time with my family.
Well, I only say that because I've seen you say that. I've seen, it's reading between the lines. Look at what people say, do not what they say, right? Yeah. And you have said, I want to spend too much time with your family. And then I see you get frustrated when you can't spend time with your family. I'm like, nope, that's really important to them. Well, that really genuinely is important.
And that's the happier part. I mean, it's really astonishing. And, I got this idea. I didn't know this book came out. You know who told me about this book?
Who?
Our friend Sven Karlin, the value investor from Sweden, Norway, Sweden. He did a review on the book. And he said, I read the book and I'm going to read it multiple times.
Wow.
So I got through 2 chapters and then I got the audiobook as well. So I could reread the first chapter and listen to it. I find, Paul, I can follow along better when someone's reading it to me and I can read the words. I comprehend it much more. But regardless, this is my take. I mean, really, you didn't know I was doing this inside, but I was wandering in my thoughts as you say this because you've looked so wrong on Tesla, on Amazon of late, on crypto coins, which you and I had an argument Christmas 2018 about how wonderful Bitcoin was. It was the best thing ever. I had 3 coins and you're just freaking wrong and missing out and you're just stupid about it. And you came in with the same things you're saying right now. Nate commented at lunch, our intern, about the idea that like our videos are so consistent.
Yep.
We don't flip flop. And certainly I found in this video, do you know John Templeton, Sir John Templeton?
Yeah, of course.
Of course. You say, of course. This is all news to me. But they sound, not only, I would say flip-flopping.
Well, Templeton Funds. I mean, it's a big company.
Paul, okay. I'm the average guy.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know what that is. But I learned about it in chapter 2, and they all sound a lot like you. So either you're sounding like them, or this is the way. And it really, really started talking, just enhancing my idea about like.
Well, you might be the, Warren Buffett always says that people who understand value, they either get it or they don't. I'm not a believer of that. Like, I don't believe that either, because look at you. You literally did not get it at first. And I knew you were sitting there going, I don't know about this. But over time, when I hear you make statements, I'm like, there it is. Well, there's the value investor.
I've started shows saying, Paul, how could Tesla not reach X amount? And how is that even possible? I was going to share a video with you about cryptocurrency because a very famous YouTuber said, listen, when the government start picking it up and the big banks start picking it up, I don't care about fundamentals. It's going to go up. And that's also not true, But I mean, I love getting your thoughts on this. But yeah, so I guess I have flip-flop 180 degrees on this because as I had a video a few months ago, guys, how I lost out on $1 million. I had all Tesla, Amazon, and Bitcoin. That was my, Paul, that was my retirement. Tesla, Amazon, and Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And someone might say, I saw in the comments, Paul, someone said, this guy's a complete idiot because he sold all that stuff. He would have been a gazillionaire. But guess what? I still have folks, you probably have 60 to 70 more years of your life to make fundamental investing decisions. And I'd rather go into those next 60 with a process as opposed to just throwing darts at random companies.
It's very, very difficult to see the recent history and go, I do it too, Seth.
Mm-hmm.
I think about the more wealth we would have if it was. And then part of the happier is me going, okay, like what would it have done for me? Okay, would it have made my life better? No. Would I have spent more money? No. And if I had spent more money, would my life be better? Would my life be better because of it? No. But the process I have now makes life a lot better. Like to me, having a good process is like having meaning. You know what I mean? Like to me, it's like, okay, I believe in something and I'm going to stick to it. And when I adhere to it and it pays off, that's going to be so satisfying versus Tesla, when you don't have a process for it, it works, it's euphoric. But when it doesn't work, what happens?
You start trying to find a process.
You're just like, what happened here?
Right.
It's confusion. It's despair. It's depression. But to me, it's like, okay, have you ever seen me once worry about like, Paul, Tesla's up 1,000%. Okay. Like you've seen me. I'm just like, all right. Like I literally, this isn't a show, folks, in terms of what this is. It's like, okay, sounds good. Now, do I get emotional about things like people saying at times I do this going, okay, well, can I think to myself, maybe I just don't get it. And then yesterday, I sent an article to Mikey, my brother, and my friend Michael Moskal. And I was like, look at the historical numbers on the stock market valuation. It is mind-boggling. And I look at it going, nope, it will end up being right. It just, when's it going to happen? I don't know.
Yeah, you brought up Tesla, and I watched another video. Someone wanted us to react to some Yahoo out there that's very pro Tesla, and he showed how every single quarter Tesla's going up and up and up and up and up and up and up. And then I was like, I wasn't arguing with him at all. Every quarter before the last, like the first quarter of this year beat out the entire year 4 years ago. It's
You're talking about the stock price or the revenue?
Revenue, the cars sold, the revenue, everything.
So now revenue matters.
It goes up and up. But guess what? He never got the video ended. He actually said, show this to a Tesla bear and tell me how I'm wrong. And he just kept on showing all the beautiful numbers about how Tesla's growing and growing.
Great, I'll show you Microsoft.
But he never mentioned a price, Paul.
Yeah.
That was it. We love Tesla. Mo and I drive Teslas. We all love Tesla. We just don't love it at the price.
If I could have gotten a Model S a month ago, I probably would have bought a Model S.
Well, you can't get them until September.
That's the problem. So. No, I guarantee it's not going to happen until next year.
Next year. So
I just look at it saying, guys, I'm not disagreeing that revenue is going up, but what's good revenue going up then? Because there's lots of companies where revenue goes up every single quarter. Is that all you need? And then all of a sudden the nosebleed? Well, no, you need big one. Okay, what's big revenue growth? Is it 30%? Is it 10%? Is it 5%? Which one is it? When you start breaking it down, like, guys, there's a lot of companies that grow every single quarter. So they should all have nosebleed valuations like Tesla because it's growing every quarter.
Yes.
Well, no, Tesla's more. Great. How much more?
Right.
And over what period of time? Is it 5 years, 1 year, 2 year, 10 year? Because clearly, that's the thing. When you don't have a process, you cannot answer those questions.
So my apology is this. If there was any hesitation, I'm sad I felt this way because now that I read this book and listened.
Why would you even feel that?
Because I just thought I had to defend you, and really, I'm finding that you are doing exactly what all the most famous investors in the entire world have done. The same.
And they're all old and has-beens, and this is what we're going to hear in the comments. Like, those people are so like Warren Buffett's ways don't work anymore. Okay, sounds good, folks. And they said every bull market, they say it right before the big bear market. I mean, listen, Michael Burry, everybody talks about what a genius he was in 2007 and 8.
Yeah.
And you know what they say? You know what people say now?
He's crazy now.
Yeah, he's not right. He literally says that the stock market is overvalued to the magnitude of 2 times. Magnitude of 2.
Mm-hmm.
I've been saying the stock market's worth about 15 to 1800. Guys, I just think it's so funny. In the stock market GDP ratio, Seth, anything above 138% is considered significantly overvalued.
Go on.
It's currently at 204%. Over 138% is considered significantly over. There isn't even a word for describing 204%. This is on gurufocus.com. Literally, they call anything over 138 significantly overvalued. It's currently at 204. It's calling for negative 3.3% returns over the next 10 years, and that's after accounting for dividends of 1.3%. So they're actually calling for 4.6% loss between now and the next 10 years in the S&P price, which would take it to about 2,500 10 years from now.
So if you made it this far in the video and you still don't believe us, we'll just see you when all the poop hits the fan here.
But to people out there who are afraid to say this makes sense, I was the same way. Mm-hmm. But it will make sense. Just keep us on your back burner. I'm okay if you don't think I'm right now, but something deep down inside is going, well, I guess numbers do explain it. If you just think I'm wackadoo and stupid and you think Seth's fine, I'm okay with that. I'm perfectly okay with that. But there are people out there, probably 1 in every 50 out there watching, who are going, that kind of makes sense. But Tesla's up. Just subscribe maybe. I don't care if you subscribe or not, but just check back every so often and you'll see a video. And if the bear market happens the way I think it's going to, like every other great investor thinks it's going to, then maybe you come back and start watching videos going, I'm ready for the process. Because it took me losing a lot of money on tech stocks too to learn my lesson.
Yeah. So if there's a book out there about a bunch of famous gajillionaires who chase overpriced companies and crypto coins, let us know in the comments if I missed out on that book. But this one really spoke to me, and hopefully our channel speaks to you. So that's our take. Join the Patreon below, and you can talk to us in person. And yeah, that's our take. Thanks, Paul. See you.
Thank you.